Good afternoon, one and all. Today we have with us Dr. Anna Barbaro for presenting a lecture on topic women in forensic. Thank you, Anna, for Dr. Anna for lecture series. We used to organize this lecture series on every Sunday, and I welcome you along with my co-host Dr. Janita Jasuja. Anna is a president of Worldwide Association of Women Forensic Experts, and they do lots of activities she will discuss during the session. I request my co-host Dr. Janita to read a brief introduction about our esteemed speaker of the today, Dr. Janita.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce ma'am to our participants. So today we have Anna ma'am as our speaker. She did European PhD in forensic genetics and from University of Santiago de Compostela, Spain. Second degree cycle in biological science from University of Messina. Academic diploma at the School of Specialization in Applied Genetics from University of Rome La Sapienza, Masters in Psychological and Behavioral Techniques of the Criminal Investigation, University of Rome La Sapienza, Italy. Diploma of Expert in Criminal Investigation from Escuela Superior Criminalistica, Diploma of Superior Expert in Criminal Profiling, Escuela Superior Criminalistica from Spain, Diploma in Intermediate Crime Scene Investigation from NIJ, Diploma of the Course in Criminalistics, specialized in the crime scene from Centro de Formación Estudio Criminal, Chief of Forensic Genetics Department at Studio Indagini Mediche e Forensi, Italy. Ma'am is DNA expert consultant at Italian criminal and civil courts, teacher of forensic genetics at the Master in Forensic Science from University La Sapienza, Rome, Italy, collaborator of in INQUIFOR from University of Alcalá de Henares, founder and president of Worldwide Association of Women Forensic Expert, which is WAWFE, past Secretary General of Mediterranean Academy of Forensic Science. Ma'am is also honorary member of the following association like International Association of Orthodontic and Forensic Odontology, Georgian Academy of Forensic Science, Peruvian Association of Forensic Dentistry, member of several international scientific associations, and executive editor of Annals of Life Science. Ma'am is also executive editor of Journal of Forensic Legal and Investigative Sciences, senior editor of Acta Medica International, member of the editorial committee of some international specific journals, review of scientific articles for several international scientific journals. Ma'am is also teacher in university courses and practical courses about criminalistics, thesis director or tutor in degree, post-degree and PhD courses, invited speaker at various national and international conferences, organizer of courses and conferences about forensic science, member of scientific committee of several courses and conferences, co-author of manual Technical Evidence in Criminal Trial, key editor Italy, 2016, author of Manual of Forensic Science and International Survey, CRC Press USA of 2017, author of the Manual of Criminalistics and Criminology, Tabor Flores of 2020, author of chapter SNP's Technology, Approach and Application in the Manual Forensic Genetics Research Progress, Nova Publisher USA 2009, author of chapter Animal Forensic Genetics in the Forensic Veterinary Medicine, Millennium Editorial Brazil of 2019 in press.
Thank you so much, Dr. Janita, for giving an introduction of our esteemed speaker. Now I request our esteemed speaker, Dr. Anna, to conduct the session. Thank you for accepting our invitation for delivering our talk on topic women's and forensic. Anna, over to you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to stay here together with you all. Thank you to all the attendees. I'm going to talk about women in forensics. I'm sharing. As you know, forensic science is the application of science to criminal and civil laws. Forensic scientists apply scientific methods and technologies to legal problems. The word forensic comes from the Latin word forensic. That means in an open court. Because of this, forensic science is an intersection between law and science. Forensic science includes criminalistics and criminology. Criminalistics is the application of scientific methods to the collection, identification, and comparison of samples found at a crime scene. It uses the contribution of biology, chemistry, medicine, engineering, and physics. The Austrian jurist Hans Gross is considered the father of the criminalistics. Criminology is the study of the criminal and deviant behavior. Because of this, it uses the contribution of psychology, sociology, and the Italian sociologist Cesare Lombroso is considered the father of criminology. In the last years, television shows, movies, and true crime have produced high expectations for the contribution that scientists and technologies can offer, not only in solving violent crimes, but also cyber crimes, chemical attacks, and mass disasters. This so-called CSI effect has produced worldwide an increased and sometimes excessive interest by students and professionals, but also by common people toward forensic science. In fact, many persons started their career in forensic due to the media influence. But we know that reality is real different from what appears on TV. Real problems and difficulties are great. In fact, due to the hard confrontation with the reality, it happens that many people who started forensic activity with great expectations then were not able to continue with it. For example, I had undergraduate and graduate forensic science students who felt bad during autopsies or when viewing a putrefied body, and then they decided to leave this career. Obviously, forensic science begins at the crime scene. This because, according to Locard's exchange principle, every contact leaves a trace. This means that there is a direct relationship between all the elements at the scene, the victim and the suspect. At the crime scene, evidences must be searched in order to answer to some questions, such as who committed the crime, where and when the crime happened, who was the victim, and in order to reconstruct the alleged dynamic of the event. Obviously, forensic experts may have different roles. Some people analyze the crime scene to find and collect evidences. Others carry out only activities in laboratory, analyzing samples brought to them by other people. Other people are able either to collect evidence at the crime scene, then to analyze sample. This happens to me. I'm able to go to the crime scene and to collect biological evidences and to come back to my laboratory in order to analyze these evidences and to perform DNA analysis. Because of this, forensic science involves a wide number of scientists specialized in different disciplines, such as biology, chemistry, medicine, physics, ballistics, genetics, entomology, botany, informatics, and so on. Because of the complexity of forensic science, and since the results of a forensic analysis may contribute to establishing the guilt or innocence of a person, this field requires a great scientific competency that may only be achieved by specific education and training, pluriannual experience, application of scientific international protocols, participation in proficiency testings, and obviously stringent professional ethics. Therefore, it's necessary to attend courses on specific topics of interest, because a good expert must have specific and not general knowledge. Forensic experts must have also basic knowledge in civil or criminal legal matters. They need to know the concepts, rules, and dynamics of the legal system according to the country where they are working. This in order to understand procedural mechanisms, either when carrying out technical analysis, then when preparing the report and discussing results during the trial. Since the judicial system is a very formal system in which methods and procedures are of fundamental importance, for the forensic expert it's necessary to have this knowledge to avoid that their activity is declared invalid because of formal errors and not of technical errors. In addition, in some countries like USA, quality certification of the forensic experts is required also to demonstrate their effective competence to carry out their activity in a specific area and to give expert witness at the court. Forensic science and crimes appear very attractive to women. Last year, I published a paper about women in forensics. It was an international overview that focused on women involved in scientific activities. In my opinion, women are more oriented to details. They are able to maintain a high level of attention for a long time, especially when working with small items such as forensic evidences. It appears women have a great intuition, which is very useful in forensic investigation. In the majority of degree or post-degree courses in forensic science in Italy, but also in other countries such as Spain, the number of female students is greater than the number of men. Here are some data taken from my paper. As you can see in this slide, according to Eurostat, around 24 million women with a university level education are employed as professionals and technicians in Europe. In European countries, women are the majority in countries such as Lithuania, Bulgaria, Latvia, Portugal, and Denmark, while they are the minority in Germany, Finland, Hungary, and Luxembourg. In Africa, Asia, and the Pacific area, women are only around 30%. In Malaysia, women are more than 50% of the students of technology. In Latin America and the Caribbean, women represent around 40%. But this interest to forensic have an old origin. Now we give a look to the past. Mary Hovins was the first policewoman in the United States. She joined the Chicago Police Department in 1891, holding the rank of sergeant. She retired in 1923. Prior to working with the police, she was one of the 5 female health inspectors employed in the city health department. In 1908, Laura Baldwin was hired by the City of Portland Police Department as Superintendent of Women's Protective Division, with the rank of detective. Baldwin stressed crime prevention and favored reform over incarceration. She promoted laws to protect women and demonstrated by example that women could be effective and good police officers. Alice Stebbins Wells was the first woman in Los Angeles Police Department. She was hired in 1910. Her efforts in promoting the need for female officers resulted in the hiring of police women in 16 other cities and in several foreign countries. She founded the International Police Women Association in 1915. She believed that women, as regular members of municipal police departments, are particularly well qualified to perform protective and preventive work among juveniles and female criminals. She will be remembered for introducing this new concept into local law enforcement. In addition, she was responsible for hand-sewing her own police uniform, which was the first woman police uniform in the United States of America. Given to her activity for women's and children's rights, more women were recruited after the Equal Employment Opportunity Act released in 1972. In 1914, she was the subject of a biological movie entitled The Police Woman. Frances Gertrude McGill is considered one of the first pathologists in the world. She was nicknamed the Sherlock Holmes of such Europe for her detective skills and prominent role in police investigations and court cases. She influenced the development of forensic pathology in Canadian police work and was internationally noted for her expertise in this subject. Her work allowed to solve murders that had gone uninvestigated. But a woman who changed the face of traditional forensic investigation was Frances Glessner Lee. She had a so great influence on the development of forensic science in the United States that it is now considered the mother of forensic science. She used the art of miniatures in an unconventional way to create, on dollhouse scale with fine details, 20 real crime scenes useful for training investigators. In the early 1930s, she began a career in legal medicine, and she helped to establish the Department of Legal Medicine at Harvard in 1931. For her work, she was made an honorary captain in the New Hampshire State Police in 1943, making her the first woman to join the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Nowadays, Marcella Farinelli Fierro, former Chief Medical Examiner for the Commonwealth of Virginia and consultant for the National Crime Information Center, inspired Case Carpetta, the protagonist of Patricia Cornwell's novels. But on the other hand, criminals. The first female serial killer back to the ancient Rome. She was Locusta, the servant of Emperor Nero. Anyway, she was not a serial killer in the typical sense, because she killed people on commission for personal gain and not for pleasure or madness. She may be correctly named as the first serial poisoner. Like any poisoner, she often took progressive doses of poison to stimulate the body to immunity. The Emperor Nero trusted in her and commissioned many poisonings. When he died, she was executed. According to the legend, she committed around 400 homicides. Lavinia Fisher is commonly reported in the States of America. She was the owner of an hotel, the 6 Mile Wayfair House in Charleston, South Carolina. According to the legend, Lavinia generally highway travelers to dinner with her, and she asked them many informations about their occupation, trying to find out if they had money or not. She offered them a cup of tea that was generally poisoned, and then she killed them. Some historians believe she killed her victims by crushing their heads between her legs. Before her execution, wearing her wedding dress and the news, she reported had to have said, "If anyone has a message for the devil, give it to me, and I'll take him." Then, before her execution could hang her, she jumped, taking her final moments in her own hands. She was the first woman executed by hanging. It's believed that Lavinia is one spirit who not only owns the whole Charleston jail, but also attacks people who are visiting the jail. One of the most famous and cruel female serial killer was Eileen Wuornos. She was a prostitute who murdered 7 men by shooting them between December 1989 and November 1990. She claimed that her victims had raped or attempted to rape her, and that all of the homicides were committed in self-defense. Her story was portrayed in the movie Monster. According to some studies, there is a relationship between the increasing employment of women in police and the recording of violent crimes by women. In last decades, women's participation in the crime market has increased considerably in most countries. More women are committing crimes than in the past, but they have not yet caught up with men. Convergence in the social roles of women and men might have helped in increasing crimes committed by women. The gender gap in crime is in part explained by women's lower criminal earnings and lower responsiveness to changes in expected criminal earnings, but also by a gender difference in the probability of arrest. In fact, according to a study performed in 2015, men generally earn 13% more than women and face a 9% higher probability of arrest. In USA, property crimes represent almost 70% of total crimes for women and around 50% for men who are in prison. In Italy, as in England and Wales, drug offenses and robbery are the most common crimes. Women tend to commit more theft and fraud, while men commit robberies and violence against persons. Drug crimes and violent crimes are almost twice as high among men as among women. Furthermore, women commit around 30% of property crimes in the USA, but they represent less than 10% of the prison population. The percentage of women incarcerated is lower than the percentage of women convicted. That is lower than the percentage of women prosecuted. For women, the decision to engage in criminal activity cannot be explained simply in terms of opportunity cost in the legal market. Child rearing and housekeeping may play a more important role for women than for men. For example, marital status may have an important role in the decision to commit a crime. It has been seen that married women who are not in the labor force tend to commit more property crimes than married women, but not more violent crimes. Single women in the labor force are not more prone to commit property crimes. Finally, women who have very young children have a higher disutility in going to jail. According to a study performed in 2019 using USA data on property crimes, looks that women are discriminated against not only in the legal job market, but also in the crime market. And there is a discriminatory bias in male and female partnering to commit a crime. A man decides to partner with a woman to commit a crime only if the woman is real productive. During years, several female associations have been founded, especially in USA, with the aim to support female forensic professionals and students. One of the most active associations is the Association of Women in Forensic Science, that is partner of my association, of WAWFE. In fact, the president of the Association of Women in Forensic Science, it is also the general coordinator of WAWFE. WAWFE is the worldwide association of women forensic experts. I founded in Italy in 2011. It's a multidisciplinary association with the aim of connecting experts working worldwide in different forensic fields, in public or private institutions, in order to promote the advancements of the role of women in the international forensic community and to favorite the exchange of information and experience between forensic experts. To be involved in WAWFE activities, it's necessary to become a WAWFE member. All WAWFE members receive a personal identification number with which they are entitled to some advantages, such as discounts during WAWFE events, access to the WAWFE journal, the Annals of Life Science, inclusion in the WAWFE professional network, possibility to apply for WAWFE scientific prizes. WAWFE membership is free during this year. WAWFE members can send ideas, proposals to the staff, and also they may apply to become area coordinators with the aim to favorite the diffusion of WAWFE in their own country. WAWFE has now 12 coordinators all around the world, from Asia, Europe, America, South America. WAWFE professionals are also available for giving their support and suggestions to people, to students who are interested in forensic careers, obviously according to the law of different countries and to the different educational programs and legislation. To favorite education diffusion of forensic science, WAWFE organizes courses, conferences, and events, even online, open to everyone. In our opinion, conferences like this one are important either for students and for professionals, since they give the opportunity to meeting experts in different forensic fields, to learn from them, and to share experience and knowledge between professionals. For example, in 2016, WAWFE organized the international conference as a cruise. It was the first forensic cruise never organized. A cruise from Miami to Bahamas. And this idea had a very great success. Other conferences and courses were organized in various countries of the world by the area coordinators. We can see some examples of activities. This is an international conference organized by the coordinator of Peru and Chile. It was a Peru-Chile meeting. This is another example of courses organized by the WAWFE coordination in Argentina. These are conferences organized by WAWFE coordination in Spain. Here you can see events organized by the coordination in Paraguay. Other conferences organized by WAWFE group in Egypt. And here, this was another conference organized by WAWFE Morocco. We have a coordination also in Armenia. You can see here our coordination members. And these are members from Georgia who organized other events and workshops. An active coordination is the Brazil one. Here you can see an example of activities organized by this coordination. And here you can see the WAWFE course taken by my friend Laura Petler, who is considered one of the most experts in the world about crime scene staging. This event took place in Italy, in Rome. And Laura created an institute that has several educational programs and represents the Holy Company focused on the study of the victim. She has also a TV show. She's a very important forensic woman in the world. WAWFE is often partner of conferences organized by other associations, as you can see in this slide. And here there are some events that have been planned before COVID emergency. Some of them have been cancelled, while other ones will be held as virtual events. During COVID emergency, WAWFE organized a series of free forensic webinars about forensic science in the world and on specific topics. This series had a great success. We talk about forensic science all over the world, in India, in Argentina, in Brazil, in USA, to give an idea to attendees about the difference in forensic science education and in forensic science application in different countries. I take this occasion to announce the next WAWFE International Conference that will be held as a virtual meeting on 21-22 November. And I invite you all to attend this conference. All the informations are available on WAWFE website, and it has been already published, the preliminary scientific program. That includes topics about criminalistics, but also criminology. WAWFE members have the opportunity to publish their original research in the Annals of Life Science, that is the WAWFE official journal, and to participate in other initiatives such as the preparation of protocols, manuals, or books. The publication in the Annals of Life Science is free only for WAWFE members. In 2017, WAWFE Group prepared a manual of forensic science that has been published in the United States by the prestigious publisher CRC Press. This September, last month, has been published in Spain another manual of criminalistics and criminology in Spanish language. Another book about forensic veterinary is now in publication in Brazil, and we are preparing another book about crime scene investigation. In addition, WAWFE, in order to favorite professionalism in forensic science, also of young experts, organizes prizes. For example, in 2014, it has been organized a prize for young scientists entitled to a cartoon Julia Kendall, which is a very famous cartoon in Italy. She's a forensic investigator. This prize had a great success. We are now organizing another international award for professionals. Finally, in order to celebrate forensic women, I created the International Forensic Women Day that will be held on October 16, starting from this year. My idea achieved the attention and the support of presidents of other international associations. Due to the great number of women now involved in forensics in all countries all over the world, I think this could be an interesting initiative to recognize their efforts. I want to thank you again, all the attendees and the organizer, for inviting me to this event. If you have any questions, you can contact me by following my Facebook page or my page on Instagram or LinkedIn, or following WAWFE page on social network. I invite you all to check WAWFE website for updates and for information about the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anna, for taking a wonderful session. Now, I request if any participant have any query, they can ask, or you can type your query in a chat box. I will take that query. Or if you want to interact directly, you can raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can ask your query or your question.
Otherwise, I write my email in the chat, so you are free to contact me even in the future if you have any questions or if you want to propose any ideas. This is my email.
Yes. So email is president@wawfe.org. So there is a question from Simran. Is there any impact on forensic science due to this pandemic?
Yes, especially here in Italy, during some months from March to July, there was a big impact of COVID emergency on our activities. For example, all tribunals, court of justice here were closed, so it was impossible for us to give to the court to discuss about results of an investigation, and it was impossible to perform analysis in the laboratories because laboratories were closed, or to assist during activities performed by police or by carabinieri. I want to say that in Italy there is a law that permits to private experts such as me to perform investigation for the prosecutor or for the judge, and to collaborate with the police or with the carabinieri. Because of this, I have the opportunity to go directly to the crime scene to perform my investigation. But during the COVID emergency, everything was closed, and only in special cases, police or carabinieri were allowed to work. Because of this, many problems happened in penal procedure. Regarding regarding activities in the civil tribunal, everything was stopped, and we started again to work only at the beginning of September. Because of this, I can say that COVID had a big impact and is still having a big impact on all forensic activities, because the emergency, unfortunately, in Italy is going on, and we don't know what will happen. People at the government are talking again about lockdown, so we don't know what will happen.
So there is another question from the Jean. What opportunity are available to women aspiring to build career in forensic on an international level?
It depends on countries. For example, when I started my activity in forensic here in Italy, at the beginning of the 90s, I was one of the first women in forensic, especially one of the first women to go to a crime scene to collect sample to investigate the crime scene. Now I see, even when I give my courses at university, and then when I work with other colleagues, that there is a majority of women involved in forensics. So I think that now there isn't any difference between women or men in forensic careers, and the expectations are exactly the same.
Yes. There is another question from the Odelia. Is it difficult to get a job in forensic if you graduated in life science and not forensic science?
Since forensic science is a very difficult field that requires a great experience, I generally suggest to people who are starting from another degree, another university degree, to have courses, to attend courses such as masters or postgraduate courses on a specific forensic topic, in order to improve their knowledge and to are able to demonstrate their effective experience. It's important not only to attend the courses, but also to have the opportunity to work, for example, in a laboratory, because practical experience is very important. So I think that, for example, a degree in life science may be a starting point, but then it's absolutely required a specialization in a specific forensic field.
Thank you so much. There is another question from the Elanta Sabu. Which is the best country that you would prefer for women in forensics?
This is this is a good question. I don't know. I can say that generally speaking, USA is the country that offers much more opportunities in the job. But this is not only in forensic job, but generally speaking, even if it's not easy to work in USA because of many other type of problems.
Any other participant have any query? I think we have taken all the question. So as far as the Indian scenario is concerned, Namita, there are many women who are working in forensic laboratories. So in India, we have a good number of women candidate in forensic science laboratory.
In Italy, for example, people who are working in the biological department of scientific police are quite all women. I have many friends who are forensics, and they are women. So it depends on country and country, and it depends also on the educational programs and on the legislation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aina, for answering all the query from the participant. I think we have taken all the questions, and Yeah, Noor Hassan, can a lecturer in forensic become the member of WAFE, your association? Anna,
Yes.
can a lecturer become the member of your association?
Yes, sure. Everyone, students, professionals, but also people interested to forensic science may become a member of WAFE without any problem. And if a professional wants to join our association, is welcome because the professional may be part of our team and may help us in preparing protocols or manuals such as the one we have I have presented before. I've shown before.
Yes. So thank you so much once again. And here, as we are in the virtual space, I request you to accept that certificate of appreciation for delivering such a wonderful lecture on the topic women in forensic. Hope all the participants have been benefited by listening that how that women are doing good in forensic science in all whole the part of the world. Here, I would request my team member also to accept that certificate of appreciation. Afreen, Amala, Ember, Anmol, Aarti, Dr. Janita, Dr. Pooja, Falak Khan, Kanheri, Kratika, Laksh, Lashika, Mabel, Neha, Nimisha, Pallavi Mohanty, Priya, Raj, Ruchika, Saza, Sivani, Tanya, Vaishnavi, and we have added more volunteer and more team member in our team. Soon I will add their name. Due to the lack of time, I was not able to add their name, so we have a 12 15 more in this list. So thank you all my team member for circulating this information to social media, and thank you all the participant for attending the session and getting benefit by the talk of Dr. Anna. Thank you once again, Dr. Anna.
Thank you again for the invitation. It has been a great pleasure for me. Thank you to all your staff and to all the attendees. I sincerely hope my presentation has been interesting for you all. If you want to become a WAFE member, please check the website. I wrote the address in the chat, so you can find there all information about the membership. Thank you again. Thank you for the certificate, and hope to have another occasion in the future. Thank you again.
Sure, definitely. So I think Dr. Bijay Pal sir has raised the hand. Sir, do you want to ask something? Uh, so you want to ask something, Dr. Bijay Pal sir? I think we are not able to check him. Okay. So all the registered participants, they can download their certificate from the website forensicevents.com/download certificate. And you can download your certificate by entering your registered email ID. By here, you just have to click on the link, download certificate. And here you just have to put your registered email ID and download your certificate. Dr. Vijay Pal sir want to ask something. Sir.
I wanted to ask you how to join the association.
You can find all the information in the website, and it's very easy. The membership is free during this year, so you have only to fill in the membership form and to send back to the email membership@wafe.org.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to you for your interest in our association.
So all the participants, those who have registered earlier, they have to put their email address on this search box. After putting the email address, you will find that download certificate and you can download your certificate. As we always conduct this international lecture series on each Sunday, every Sunday. So on next Sunday, we have another session, and that is a culture matter, archaeology, environment, and the forensic interpretation by the Sophia. She is the director of School of Global Integrative Studies. So welcome you all on the next Sunday. With this, I would request all the participants to I'm just